In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City, the Mailchimp Herald, the Daily Journal, the Hamilton Gazette, and the Hamilton News, and has been posted on the bulletin boards in the county office building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater building in Northfield, and the county clerk's office in Mays Landing. We're going to have an opening prayer, and after the opening prayer, Mr. Corsi would like to make note of a moment of silence after that. Almighty God, remember that the world is thy creation, and that life is thy gift. Uplift our thoughts from the littleness of our own works to the greatness, the majesty, and wonder of thine, and teach us so to behold thy glory, that we may grow into thy likeness. Amen. Mr. Corsi, I know you want to mention somebody for a moment of silence.
Madam Chair, and certainly to our colleagues, we want to have a moment of silence for not only the incident that happened here in Atlantic City on the boardwalk a few days ago, and that gentleman was buried today, but I want to take the time to moments of silence for Middlesex County Commissioner Kenneth Airwood, 46 years old, massive heart attack the other day, and his services was held yesterday in Plainfield, New Jersey. He is one of the original members of founding members of NJ-Team, which is the 19 African-American Black elected officials, as formerly known as freeholders, now as county commissioners. Massive heart attack, no signs of problems, but we want to certainly have a moment of silence for him and those who have passed along the way in the meantime.
Thank you. We'll now have a moment of silence.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now we'll have the face the flag and first salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Madam Chairwoman, Commissioner Days will not be here today. He's out of town. And Commissioner Risley's wife had major surgery, so he'll be able to attend today as well.
Okay.
Dallas?
Here.
Bertino?
Here.
Corsi?
Present.
Fitzpatrick?
Here.
Gatto? And Kern.
Here. Okay, the commissioners have had an opportunity to review the minutes from February 16, 2021. I'll entertain a moment to adopt the February 16, 2021 minutes as presented.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, anyone that would like, I'm just, as usual with these meetings, I just want to repeat that. Anyone that would like to speak during public comments, please type yes in the resolution number in the question and answer box. Any items not listed on the agenda, you may speak during public comments. You'll be raised from an attendee to a panelist. When you're raised, please state your name and the town you reside in. And you can do that at any point. You don't have to wait till the resolution numbers come up. Okay, we now have Dr. Robert Previty for the Atlantic Cape Community Board of Trustees for an interview. Mr. Previty, Dr. Previty, are you here?
Good afternoon. How are you? Can you hear me?
We can.
Excellent.
Would you like to make some? Would you like to make some comments prior to any of the commissioners' questions?
Well, at this,
Oh, we have a problem there. Okay, you've got a really bad echo. So I'm gonna, do you want to try again?
Madam Chairwoman,
Yes,
just instruct Dr. Previty, if he has more than one device on, he's got to turn it off because we see him several places. So he'll have to turn off one of the devices. Otherwise, he's going to get that feedback.
Dr. Previty, did you hear that from Madam Clerk? Did we lose him?
Just hold for give us one moment, Chairwoman.
Okay, because I'm not seeing him up there right now, but
Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
we can hear you now. So if you have two devices
Excellent.
on, you just turn one off, okay?
Well, thank you.
Okay.
It's my pleasure at this point in my career to take on a new great adventure. If the county commissioners and the ACCC board so deems it in a positive manner that I can help with Atlantic and Cape May County from my perspective from the K to 12 relationships that I have built throughout the years with superintendents and with the colleges and universities within the county. So I'll answer any questions that anyone has. I believe you have my resume. I have 42 or 43 years of experience at multiple levels, and you have my fullest attention.
Thank you, Dr. Previty. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for Dr. Previty?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Corsi.
if I may, it is certainly an honor to certainly support this nominee. However, he made a statement. I wasn't going to say anything, but he made a statement that we all had his resume. He meant to say we all had his book, his life story, his life journey. But Dr. Previty has been a pillar in this community, whether it was Atlantic City, Pleasantville, and about his work speaks for itself. Gentleman and a scholar. And at the end of the day, I think he will bring so much brightness to the Atlantic Cape Community College Board of Trustees, and certainly I wish him well. I know Bob on a personal level and a professional level, but his resume just touched the tip of it. But the fact of the matter is that I think at the end of the day, this is an outstanding nominee, and we certainly look forward to supporting it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do we have any other comments or questions from the commissioners?
Madam Chair,
Yes, please.
is it me? I don't know.
Yes, it's you.
Okay. I just
couldn't
wanted to
see
make
you
a statement too as well, and looking over his resume, as Commissioner Corsi indicated, he has a quite extensive resume. He will do an excellent job. I look forward to supporting him, and I look forward to seeing the experience and the opportunities and vision he brings to that board. I think he's joining a great board, and anytime you could add someone with the qualifications he obviously has, I think it's going to be a big benefit to not only the faculty, but to the students at the facility for years to come. So look forward to supporting it.
Thank you, Commissioner Bertino. Do I have any other comments or questions for Dr. Previty? Seeing none, yes, I agree with you. We are so fortunate to have somebody of Dr. Previty's caliber in our community, everything that he does for our community, and now to be part of this position here. So then I am now going to entertain a motion to move resolution number 194 to the top of the agenda.
So moved.
Motion been made. Second.
Second.
Okay, we'll call the roll.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes. Okay, we'll have resolution 194.
Appointment of Dr. Robert Previty to the Atlantic Cape Community College Board of Trustees for a term to expire November 1, 2025.
Move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comments, any further comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, I'm going to go out of order here for a minute. I just want to know, can I vote for the two commissioners that's not here as well? Inside joke, but it's okay.
Oh, let me think about that one. Okay. Do we have any other, what was it, substance of comments or questions? Okay, do we have anything from the public?
No comments from the public.
All right, roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Patino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, that brings us to our public health officer, Pat Diamond.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
prior to presentation from Public Health, to make a motion to bring Resolution 198 forward prior to the presentation.
oh, okay, we were gonna do that after her presentation, is that it?
Why not? She wants to make a statement during her presentation, so it might work better in the beginning.
Okay,
She's good. She's right here. She's good with that, Commissioner Ballas.
which way are we going? Like, she's coming in,
She's gonna do, yeah.
all right.
Hi, how are you? I switched computers on you this week, okay? Change things up a little bit.
Today, we get to.
Yeah, I
see-
know, well, half of me anyway, right? I'd like to first to give a briefing. I haven't actually been here for a couple of weeks, so cases, cumulative Atlantic County-wide positive cases to date are 25,079, up from 22,968 reported to you on March 16th, 3 weeks ago. This is an overall 32% increase in the number of COVID-19 cases in the past 3 weeks. A 19% increase was experienced in the first week, followed by a 10% increase, and lastly, a 7% increase compared to last week. Hopefully, we are on a downward trend, or at least beginning to plateau. There have been 614 reported deaths, up from 571 since March 16th. There are also 13,358 people reported as being cleared from isolation. This week, unfortunately, the COVID-19 activity level report, or CALI score, for the Southeast region rose to the high level in line with the rest of the state. This is a previous 7-day average of increases in cases, positivity rate, and increase in the number of people presented with COVID-19 symptoms in emergency rooms. So statewide, the CALI score is high through all the 6 regions. Vaccination, though, is really increasing. As of today, there have been a total number of 153,055 first and second doses administered to Atlantic County residents, which is an increase by over 53,000 doses reported to you 3 weeks ago. There are now almost 45% of Atlantic County adults receiving at least one vaccine. Of those, 44% were male and 57% were female. Breakdown by race and ethnicity of those who have been vaccinated. Asian, 10%, which is a 1% increase the previous report I gave you. Blacks, 7%, increase of 1%. White, 61%, decrease in 2%. Hispanic, 9%, increase in 3%. Other, decrease in 5%. Unknown, 8%, which means that more people are actually designated race and ethnicity, which helps us establish what groups still need to be vaccinated, which are those hard to reach population. We continue to support the Atlantic Convention Center megasite. The daily number administered at the megasite is now over 4,000 in a day, and the site has rearranged to allow vaccination on the first floor to ease access for the disabled and elderly patients. Yesterday, they opened up eligibility to host occupations and to those 55 through 64. In 2 weeks, on April 19th, everyone 16 years of age will be eligible and over will be eligible to be vaccinated. Atlanticare on their website, vaccination.atlanticare.org, advises to check periodically for appointments because they do open up quite frequently on a daily basis due to a various number of things, increase in vaccine or increase in cancellations. So it's not just those 3 days to go on the site. People are advised to go on continuously to get an appointment. We continue to work with case managers to distribute Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine to recipients of the county social service programs. It is ideal for this population as it only requires one dose to be protective. Individuals are either homebound or utilize county transportation to get to nutrition sites, medical appointments, dialysis, and grocery shopping. We are also working with AtlantiCare to establish gaps as to who is in need of vaccination, for example, those in senior housing or other homebound individuals, and how these individuals can be accommodated. Also, residents 65 years of age or older who are not homebound or who are not home delivered meal recipients can now contact the state hotline at 856-249-7007 for vaccination appointment assistance. Previously, it was 75 and older. Now they have reduced it to 65 and older. Now, the state's community-based vaccination partnership in Pleasantville has provided this past week vaccine to over 1,800 people. If you recall, there were 10 of these sites that were set up throughout the state, one of which was Pleasantville, with the goal was to reach minority populations who were having a difficult time accessing vaccine. And 1,800 doses were administered, mostly to Pleasantville residents, 12% to Egg Harbor Township, 12% to Atlantic City, Galloway Township, there was 5% representatives, Hamilton, 4%, Northfield, 2%, Ventnor, 1.5%. But what's important is that 83% of those individuals that were vaccinated represented African Americans, Hispanic, and Asians. So we really reached out to those groups. We were assisted with FEMA, the town of Pleasantville, and also the Visiting Nurses Association. And I'd like to announce that consistent with CDC recommendations, New Jersey Department of Health has updated guidance for fully vaccinated person as it relates to travel. Travel recommendations for New Jersey residents traveling out of state but within the United States and or U.S. territories who are fully vaccinated with an FDA-approved vaccine, and that is 2 doses of Moderna or Pfizer 2 weeks after the second dose, or Johnson & Johnson, where you only need 1 dose 2 weeks after that dose. They do not need to be tested for COVID-19 before or after travel to New Jersey and do not need to self-quarantine upon return. International travel individuals should just check, or internationally should check travel advisories at their destination locations. But all travelers, regardless of where they travel within the United States, are required to wear a mask on all planes, buses, and trains, and other forms of public transportation traveling into, within, or out of the United States, and in transportation hubs such as airports and stations, regardless of vaccination status. So that's my report as of April 6th, if there's any questions.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions? Ms. Diamond? Do we have any questions from the public?
No questions for the public.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to request a motion to bring 197 and 198 up to the top of the agenda.
Second.
Motion made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We'll now do resolution 198.
Resolution commending Patricia Diamond and her staff for exceptional service, leadership, commitment, and community outreach.
Okay, do we have any comments?
We need a motion, Madam Chair.
I made a motion.
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, do we have any comments?
Yeah, Madam Chair, this resolution couldn't be more appropriate for not only just for Pat, for her entire staff. As you indicated, we've all said the compliments that we have been getting throughout this pandemic and the assistance they have not only given to the county of Atlantic, but to Atlantic City when we opened up 2 sites, testing sites. Pat and her staff was right there, Johnny, on the spot, without hesitation. Any assistance we needed, she was there with her staff, and that it's her work and her staff work certainly speaks for itself. So this resolution couldn't have come at a better time. As you indicated in her report, starting soon, you'll be able, from the ages of 16 on, to be able to get the vaccine. However, Pat staff has already started the process of going to people's homes, apartments, to administer the vaccine. But Pat, we can't say enough about you and your staff and how you have stepped to the plate from day one to continue to keep the residents of Atlantic County informed what's happening, and keep this Board of Commissioners informed of what's happening. Even sometime I could speak for myself, maybe we did not often understand it all, but you have broken it down in layman's terms that we were able to give that back to our constituents. And so with that, I want to say thank you once again publicly. We often tell you that in a meeting, but this resolution certainly means that as well. And I'm sure my colleagues feel the same way.
Absolutely. Do we have any
Thank
other
you.
commissioner comments?
Madam Chair.
Yep, Commissioner Ballas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I don't repeat everything that Commissioner Corsi just said. He spoke so eloquently. We do really appreciate everything that Ms. Diamond and her staff has done for over a year now. And it's not just something they just started doing. They've been doing this for many, many, many years. She has a wonderful staff. And, you know, they put themselves out on the front line, away from their families, away from their friends, working many, many hours. And I'm sure many hours without even getting paid for it, just because they want to see an end to this pandemic. And we can't thank Pat Diamond and her staff enough for what she's done for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do we have any other comments from the commissioners? Very well
You
said.
know, thank you.
I
Ditto
would
as
like
well.
that we have this very nice plaque, and if Madam Clerk could read it, it would be appreciated.
Surely. Surely.
Okay.
Whereas Patricia Diamond is the Atlantic County Public Health Officer and the Department Head of Human Services for Atlantic County Government, serving the county and its constituents for almost 32 years. And whereas Ms. Diamond and her staff have shown continued leadership and commitment to Atlantic County, including outstanding service during the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas Ms. Diamond has made herself available to the public, to private industry, and to the Board of Commissioners in an effort to facilitate communication and partnership as government and private industry fight the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas Ms. Diamond's professionalism and commitment continues on a regular basis as she responds to the county and the commissioners with accurate information and follow-up to serve Atlantic County constituents. And whereas Ms. Diamond and her staff's commitment is appreciated by the Board of Commissioners and her unwavering availability to the Board of Commissioners and the public has been a critical part of informing the public with updated information. And whereas Ms. Diamond's leadership has brought the county together in conjunction with private partnerships to inform the public and facilitate meaningful cooperation so the public knows how to get tested for COVID-19 and how to get a vaccine for COVID-19. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners commends Patricia Diamond and her staff for ongoing commitment to serve the people of Atlantic County during a challenging time in which her performance has assisted many constituents and promoted public confidence in the county's ability to fight COVID-19.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored on behalf of my staff. I'm honored. And I have to tell you, we wouldn't really have been able to do it without the support of our administration, without the support of the commissioners, without the support of the various departments within the county. So we truly do appreciate it. And we love this county. It has everything, college and airport, it has casinos, and it is challenging, but it makes it very, very interesting. We always say, if you can work for Atlantic County, you can work anywhere in health. But anyway, my staff are rather shy, so I had asked them to attend, but I have put together just a brief synopsis of the different units, and I bring you information, but this is actually a collection of information that they provide me based on the work they're doing, you know, in the community. Our first unit is the Community Health and Clinical Services Unit, and it's headed by Barbara Kennedy, our nursing director. And this unit performs case investigation, contact tracing, and vaccination. COVID-19 work actually began in this unit in February 2020 with monitoring travelers from Wuhan and mainland China. The unit manages the 50 case investigators and contact tracers remotely, and that's how I mention that every once in a while. They planned and ran the vaccination site at the Atlantic Cape Community College and here at Stillwater to comply with COVID-19 social distancing and post-vaccination observation requirements. They are now involved in getting vaccine out to the homebound and supporting the mega site with nursing staff. They have administered over 10,000 vaccinations and continue to manage and contain outbreaks at workplaces, schools, and households. The Health Information and Planning Unit is led by Ben Mount. The unit planned and managed with the Office of Emergency Management, the drive-through testing site located at the Hamilton Mall, and which subsequently moved to Northfield. No matter when results came in, which was often over the weekend, they made sure that very anxious people received their results as soon as possible. They took on daily contacting over 1,200 travelers that reported visiting other states and advised them of the importance of quarantining. And they went through several hang-ups, unfortunately. They manage and coordinate the 40 Medical Reserve Corps volunteers at the mega site. They provide continuous education in the community to residents, schools, and healthcare providers, and are now supporting the community-based clinic in Pleasantville, which has administered over 1,800 doses last week and are on target to administer over 1,800 this week. Environmental Health Unit, led by Kathy Neisel and Jill Miles. The environmental health staff supported both units at the testing and vaccination location. They performed contact tracing and case investigations until the remote investigators were on board. They also provided outreach and education to residents and businesses. They are involved with inspections, investigations, and sampling activities at various facilities throughout the county and have adjusted those actions in accordance with the State Department of Public Health directives to ensure compliance with COVID-19 prevention mitigation measures. The Substance Abuse Unit, led by Jen Pila with assistance of George Dannenhauer, unit also performed contact tracing and case investigations until such time as the remote investigators were on board. They assisted continuously at the testing site and vaccination site. They also sustained a variety of substance abuse prevention and treatment services to Atlantic County residents, which were so needed since the inception of the pandemic. That's just a snapshot of what they do, but I thought it was important for you to hear what work goes on in the variety of units, and really they are the pillars of us moving forward with this pandemic. But you all play a part in us getting through this, and we will. But thank you so much, and I'm happy to share it with my staff. It was very, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. I mean, and that anytime I have gone into the mega site or anywhere else, Pat is always pulling other people over, saying this person does that and this person does this, and just, you know, you're always commending everybody else and all of the departments that have come together, working diligently, long hours, and with their full heart in making this successful for us. And we have heard nothing but great things about the site. So we thank you very much, Pat, and your staff for all that.
Okay. You're quite welcome, and have a good rest of the meeting. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Pat.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Do we have a Madam Clerk? Well, I'll wait till I come back for the roll call. And we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. And we now have Dr. Gaba here for an update. Thank you so much, Dr. Gaba.
Are you seeing me?
I can't see, let's see.
You see me? Okay, well, thank you very much. I'm hearing an echo. Good afternoon, and it's my pleasure to be here today to update you on activities at Atlantic Cape Community College. Before I get started, I think I'm hearing an echo. Before I get started, I wanted to thank you for your continued and unwavering support of Atlantic Cape and for recognizing April as Community College Month. The primary goal of Community College Month is to increase awareness and understanding of the value of the community colleges, both locally and nationally, through grassroots localized outreach. We believe that accomplishing this will advance appreciation for community colleges and ultimately welcome more students through our doors. Many of New Jersey's 18 community colleges were established 50 years ago and now serve more than 300,000 people each year in credit, non-credit, and workforce development courses. Over 200,000 students, more than half of all undergraduate students in New Jersey colleges, are enrolled in New Jersey's community colleges. Our community colleges also enroll nearly 100,000 students in non-credit programs and partner with thousands of businesses to meet their training and workforce needs. Community college students typically do not come from other states to learn. They're living here locally, right here in our community. So I'd like to share with you a few facts about public community colleges. They are serving the most demographically and socioeconomically diverse students. Community colleges offer the most affordable, high-quality education, and they guarantee fair admission to all students. They make higher education accessible to all students. Without community colleges, higher education would be attainable for many people. Community colleges provide higher education to students with the fewest resources and greatest obstacles. As you probably know, community colleges are the primary educators of nurses, other healthcare professionals as well. They are there for their communities in times of crisis and are committed to meeting the community's basic needs while students seek education and vital workforce training. And finally, community colleges have served as COVID testing and vaccination locations. These facts are true of all community colleges, including Atlantic Cape. So that is why community colleges are being recognized this month throughout the country. One can most clearly see the impact of Atlantic Cape in our community with our commencement, when our graduates celebrate the huge accomplishments they have made towards earning a degree. So I would like to update you on the college by speaking about our annual commencement celebration, which is just around the corner. This year, we will celebrate commencement for the class of 2021 in two ways, with a socially distanced drive-through ceremony on the Mays Landing campus, and then a virtual online ceremony. The drive-through ceremony will be held on May the 20th, and after the drive-through ceremony, we will follow up with a virtual ceremony for all of our graduates, which will go live on June the 9th at 7 p.m. After the initial airtime, the ceremony will be available on Atlantic Cape's YouTube channel, and I invite you all to watch the success of our graduates. Last year, our virtual ceremony was very successful, and it currently has over 1,600 views on YouTube. Our keynote speaker this year will be Dr. Natasha Corbett, a physician scientist. She is assistant professor in Texas and is a pediatric surgeon at Children's Medical Center in Dallas. Let me tell you something about her. At the age of 16, she attended Atlantic Cape while she was in high school. She leveraged her time at Atlantic Cape to jumpstart her education at Howard University. Then she went to the University of Pittsburgh. She is one of 16 Black women to become pediatric surgeons in the U.S., and she is the first Black woman in pediatric surgery with both a MD and a PhD. We are so proud of her, and she is a living example of our slogan, "See where the Cape can take you." So we are very, very proud that our students have persevered to reach their educational goals, especially in face of the challenges that the last year has thrown our way. We recently passed the one-year mark since the start of COVID-19. In March of 2020 last year, the college transitioned to remote operations to protect the college community and to comply with the governor's executive order to cease in-person instruction. We are now in the third semester of responding to COVID, and so far we have been very successful thanks to the understanding and cooperation of the entire college community. I am proud how we have risen to these challenges, maintained our academic and business continuity, and continued delivering on our mission of providing a high-quality education to our students. We've had a lot of opportunities over the past year to see the impact of the work we do at Atlantic Cape and the difference it makes in the lives of the people that we serve. So I'd like to share with you some of the initiatives we have implemented to support our students and community. Over the past year, our students' need for financial assistance has been greater than ever. Thankfully, we've been able to provide millions of dollars in emergency student financial aid assistance to our students through grants and other sources. In 2020, the CARES Act dispersed over $2 million to over 1,800 students here at Atlantic Cape. Most recently, the United States Department of Education allocated an additional emergency relief funds, making available another $1.9 million in emergency grant relief to students. The initial round of student emergency grants was dispersed to students in mid-March, totaling $1.5 million to over 3,300 students. Also, to address our students' enormous need for financial assistance with textbooks, we distributed over $65,000 to our students to assist with these textbooks costs in spring of 2020. Our foundation also played a major role in supporting our students, awarding 531 scholarships totaling $650,700 in a pandemic year. Thanks to all of our supporters, and raised over $15,000 for the Student Emergency Fund, which will continue to provide emergency assistance to students. These amounts exceeded the year before with $600,000 to 477 students. The transition to remote learning posed technological challenges for some of our students who did not have the equipment they needed to succeed in this new environment. In order to address this digital divide, we provided a laptop loaner program to allow students to borrow laptops, webcams, and internet hotspots. In addition to financial and technological support, we also provided academic support to help our students manage the unexpected transition to remote learning and to succeed academically. This included access 24/7 online tutoring and online orientation sessions. Another major need was our students' struggle for food insecurity. To help alleviate this burden, we implemented a number of initiatives to assist our students and their families to keep food on the table. We hosted a number of food giveaway events at the college and in partnership with community organizations such as the Fellowship of Churches and the Hispanics Association of Atlantic County. Through our campus food pantries, students have been able to pick up food curbside, and the college has distributed over $14,000 in supermarket gift cards to our students over the past year. But our work has not stopped there. We are truly a community college, and that means supporting a wider community in times of need. Early on in the pandemic, when hospitals were facing critical supply shortages, our nursing and health sciences department donated their supply of PPE, personal protective equipment, to Atlantic Care Regional Medical Center and Cape Regional Medical Center. Beginning in January, as the Atlantic City Convention Center was preparing to serve as a mega site, the gymnasium on our Mays Landing campus served as the first vaccination site in Atlantic County for frontline workers. Also, our own nursing students have been completing their clinical hours at the mega site at the convention center. In addition to administering the vaccine, the students also assisted with vaccine registration and transporting people in wheelchairs. We've also been supporting our community by addressing the needs of our local workforce. The economic impact of the pandemic was more severe here in our community than almost anywhere else in the state. And as you know, Atlantic County was the third hardest hit county in the entire country. So needless to say, many of our community members were out of work with no clear path forward. Thankfully, as the leading institution for workforce training in the region, we were able to step up and provide opportunities to get people back on their feet by offering free workforce development and training opportunities of dislocated workers in our region. Last spring, Atlantic Cape offered free Strengthen Your Potential series, which included sessions on preparing for interviews and resume writing. We also offered free online training webinars on topics such as interviewing online, job searches, and personal finance. These sessions were attended by more than 1,000 participants. In the fall, Atlantic Cape was awarded workforce training grant through the New Jersey Endures Grant, which has enabled us to provide free workforce training to unemployed individuals and displaced workers. Training programs including certified medical assistant, EMT, paramedic, and culinary and cooking professionals, to name a few. More recently, the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, CRDA, approved funding for a grant of over $492,000 to Atlantic Cape to provide training programs under the Atlantic City Works program, which addresses the training needs of Atlantic City residents who are unemployed or underemployed. The program will assist Atlantic City casino employees by expanding their training to help ensure continued employment and access to promotion opportunities. As you can see, Atlantic Cape has been very busy during this time as we come together to support our students and our community while continuing to deliver our mission to provide high-quality education. Now I'd like to share some recent updates with you. The Community College Opportunity Grant, CCOG, was signed into law in February, making it a permanent state financial aid program such as the TAG program and New Jersey STARS. The CCOG program provides a last dollar scholarship to attend community college for individuals earning an adjusted gross income of $65,000 or less, and it covers both full-time and part-time students who are eligible for this program. This last dollar scholarship program supports our most vulnerable students for whom a college education may simply be unaffordable for them. At the same time, while the CCOG program has provided much needed financial assistance to many of our students, there remains a great deal of unmet need. Many of our students continue to face financial challenges, particularly in light of the pandemic. So scholarships funded by our generous donors, the Atlantic Cape Foundation, are as critical as ever. Moving on, I'd like you to know about what we have coming up at the college. By way of grants, most recently, Atlantic Cape was awarded a $50,000 planning grant from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs called the Neighborhood Revitalization Tax Credit Program to develop a 10-year plan to revitalize Atlantic City's Inlet Neighborhood, Ward Number 1. The development of the Inlet Neighborhood Plan will incorporate a shared vision for the future revitalization of the Inlet Neighborhood driven by residents and community stakeholders. The plan will cover a period of 10 years and will include physical, social, and economic activities that address the growth, stability, and health of the Inlet Neighborhood. Also, as you may be aware, Atlantic Cape recently applied for a career and technical education grant for $4 million in association with the Securing Our Children's Future Bond Act. We sincerely appreciate Atlantic County's commitment to provide an additional match of $1.3 million in matching funds. Funds from the Bond Act will be used to complete a much-needed renovation to our B building complex on the Mays Landing campus in order to support 2 new innovative CTE programs, esports and cybersecurity. These programs are aligned to New Jersey's Innovative and Technology Collaborative and has been identified as fields with excellent growth potential in the region. B2, which is Charles Boyer Hall, which is the largest of the 3B buildings, will have the most extensive work done to expand classroom capacity. The cost of the building renovation is projected to be about $5.3 million. And as I mentioned, we applied for $4 million through the grant, and we have the $1.3 million from the county. Also, later this month, the college will be submitting a grant application to the New Jersey Offshore Wind Safety Challenge Grant. Atlantic Cape is the lead applicant in partnership with Stockton University on a consortium in a state challenge grant application for up to $3 million to provide global wind organization safety and sea survival training. Union workers doing any work to support the wind farm construction and maintenance are required to take this training with renewal every 2 years. If awarded, we will house the training at our Worthington Atlantic City campus, supporting the City of Atlantic City's wind resiliency blue economy initiatives. This would be a huge step forward toward diversifying the local economy beyond hospitality and tourism to provide good paying jobs for our local workforce. As our region begins to recover from the economic effects of the pandemic, a strong economy will depend on initiatives such as this, and Atlantic Cape will be at the forefront of developing our workforce for the future. Also, I'd like to bring to your attention coming up is our largest scholarship fundraiser, our gala, restaurant gala, and it will be returning this year with a twist. The gala will take place on June 23rd and will be going al fresco this year with a slightly more casual outdoor experience at Harrah's Waterfront Conference Center. As usual, attendees will sample a wide variety of signature dishes, desserts, and beverages from the area's most popular establishments. And finally, let me update you on our summer and fall. Registration for summer and fall began yesterday. The course offerings for summer will be mostly remote and online as we gradually emerge from the pandemic. For the fall, we plan to have about 50% of our courses back on campus offering face-to-face. We will continue to follow all CDC guidelines with cleaning and social protocols. Classes will be offered in 4 formats: in-person, online, remote, and hybrid, a combination of the in-person and online. In closing, thank you for giving me the time to tell our story and to update you on what's happening, all the exciting things happening at Atlantic Cape. And thank you for bringing forward a resolution supporting Community College Month and Atlantic Cape Community College. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gaba. It's a lot of details, so thank you for doing that for us.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of things here at Atlantic Cape.
Yes, you are. Do any of the commissioners have any questions or comments for Dr. Gaba? Seeing none.
I think that Dr. Gaba is doing an outstanding, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, may I?
Absolutely, Commissioner Corsi.
I just want to say that I believe Dr. Gaba continues to do an outstanding job for the college, as well as making the county look good, and the students, the campuses look good, and staying involved in the community. And so we thank you for all you continue to do. I'm sure that by now you have a little bit of sand in your shoes, and so you have really become a South Jerseyan.
Yes.
More now than ever. But thank you so much for what you do for all of us, and certainly looking forward to hearing your keynote speaker.
Outstanding, outstanding. And thank you for your support.
Any other commissioners have any comments?
I just have to say, Madam Chair, since Commissioner Corsi mentioned the keynote speaker, Natasha is a dear friend of mine. I know we've highlighted her here at the commissioners meeting before, and I texted her and was excited. I said, "Oh, you're coming home to get dinner," and she said it's going to be virtual. So I'm sad to hear that, but man, what a speaker she's going to be! She's awesome.
And as I mentioned, she took courses with us while she was still in high school. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very nice. Do I have any other commissioners' comments, questions for Dr. Gaba? How about from the public?
No,
Nothing
no
from the
comments.
Okay, now that's going to bring us to Resolution 197.
Recognizing April 2021 as Community College Month.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do you want to read this prior to, Madam Clerk?
Sure.
Okay.
Whereas the more than 1,300 community and technical colleges, public and private, in the United States, including Atlantic Cape Community College, have contributed enormously to the richness and accessibility of American higher education. Nearly half of all undergraduate college students in the nation today are enrolled in community colleges. And whereas by providing educational opportunities at cost and locations accessible to all who are qualified, Atlantic Cape Community College has greatly enhanced the opportunity for every ambitious student, young or old, whether out of high school or as an adult learner, to enter a college program. As community-based institutions, community colleges provide varied programs and offer specialized training for more than 1,000 occupations. And whereas the New Jersey's community colleges are critical institutions of higher education and economic opportunity, able to reach a significant proportion of the state's population and offer an affordable, high-quality education that serves the complex needs of students, employers, and local communities. And whereas Atlantic Community College, the second community college in New Jersey, established in 1964, serves Atlantic, Cape May counties at locations in Mays Landing, Atlantic City, and Cape May Courthouse. And whereas Atlantic Cape Community College offers more than 45 transfer and career degree programs, including Associate in Arts, Associate in Fine Arts, Associate in Applied Science, and Associate in Science degrees, as well as certification and professional series programs, and has nationally recognized programs in the Casino Career Institute and the Academy of Culinary Arts. And whereas Atlantic Cape Community College offers services and programs for business and industry that are relevant and support the economic development of our region. And whereas in recognition of the important contribution of community and technical colleges to our total educational system. In 1985, Congress authorized and requested then President Ronald Reagan to issue Proclamation 5418, establishing a National Community College Month. Now therefore be it resolved that the Atlantic County Board of County Commissioners recognize April 2021 as Community College Month and applauds the contributions and opportunities offered by Atlantic Cape Community College.
Thank you. Do I have any further comments from our commissioners at this time? Seeing none, do we have anything from the public?
No comments from the public.
We'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Until we go into the rest of them, I just see there's some people here that are here for resolution number 200. So I am going to ask for that to be brought up too, since we do have a long agenda. So if I can have a motion to move resolution 200 to the top of the agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Resolution 200, please.
Resolution in support of Atlantic City PBA Local 24, sponsors Ernest D. Corsi and Frank X. Ballas.
Move.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, if I may, I will yield to my colleague, the junior commissioner, who has a lot of experience in law enforcement. But let me just say real quickly, as he and I talked about this resolution, how important it is to support upward mobilities in your departments, whether it's in Atlantic City or any other municipality. There's some talk around the state of New Jersey, so some of my colleagues may not be aware. There's some talk around the state of New Jersey about going out for a national search for a police chief for Atlantic City Police Department. Mayor Small Senior does not support it. I certainly do not support it as the commissioner of the district, let alone members of the community who live nearby, certainly outraged that they would consider going out for a police chief. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Chief Sarkos, who has been elevated up to officer in charge, which is something new I've never heard of until Chief Henry White retired. Then the state made him officer in charge until such time interviews was to take place. We have capable, and I can speak firsthand, we have capable men and women in the Atlantic City Police Department who could rise to the rank of chief of police at any given moment. We have 3 deputy chiefs, and certainly you would normally go with one of your deputy chiefs to move up. Jim Sarkos have the full support of most members of City Council, as well as a lot of community groups and organizations, the clergy. Just to name a few, as I said, Mayor Marty Small Sr. makes no qualms about it that Chief Sarkos is his guy. We certainly would urge the Murphy administration to nix this quick, fast, and in a hurry. I don't know if it was just high in the sky. As you know, Atlantic City is under control of the state of New Jersey, and they use misery, whatever the hell you want to call it, when it's convenient. But the fact of the matter is this. We believe that Chief Sarkos is doing an outstanding job. You know, everybody will point the finger about any police department and how bad things are. This guy is out there 24/7. I don't need to tell you, incident on the boardwalk the other night at midnight, him, the mayor, and a number of other people out there for unfortunate situation, a hands-on guy. And like I said, if it's not broke, we don't need to fix it. And we certainly urge the Murphy administration through the lieutenant governor who oversees DCA to support this resolution and support the police department as well as the administration, either moving Chief Sarkos up as chief or pick one of the 3 deputy chiefs. But that's where I stand. But when Frank asked me if I would co-sponsor this resolution with him, it was not one hesitation. It's the right thing to do. and I certainly urge my colleagues to do the same. I yield the balance of my time to the junior member there who has so much law enforcement. He probably can tell you a little bit more than me.
Thank you, Commissioner Corsi. Commissioner Ballas?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, as Commissioner Corsi stated, it's so imperative to make sure that we have a chief of police in place prior to the summer season in Atlantic City. First of all, for the morale of the police department. Second of all, with us coming out of this pandemic, hopefully really soon, we expect to have a lot of tourism and a lot of visitors to the city of Atlantic City. And to have a police department that's not having a chief of police in place that can work, of course, with every other chief and command level officer throughout the county, it's imperative that this gets done. Going out for a search nationwide isn't going to result in any better results than what we have right here in Atlantic City. I've worked my career, came up with the command level officers in the Atlantic City Police Department as a commander in Pleasantville and also as the sheriff. And they're highly trained. They know the city, they know the residents, and they know what it takes to get the job done. And, you know, every young man or woman joining a police department basically has their eyesight someday of being the leader of their agency, or they wouldn't be there. And, you know, to take that away, you know, not only hurts the police department, but it hurts the residents, it hurts the visitors, and it hurts the county because, you know, as Atlantic City goes, Atlantic County goes. And I know it's not our position to point at any individual to be made as the chief, although I think they made the right decision in making the officer in charge right now the position that they did. But it's time to move on and make a chief of police, and we need to pass this resolution and send this to the Assembly, Senate, and to the governor to say, listen, and the lieutenant governor to let's make a decision. Let's get this done. Let's get it done now, because we're just wasting time. And I know the commanders there have a lot of great ideas on what they want to do with the police department. They just need the authority and the power to do it and move forward. And that's why I thought it was so important. Forward and support the chief of police there and the PBA of Atlantic City. And, you know, like it says in there, you know, bring back civil service and make everything fair moving forward as far as your promotional tests and everything else goes. And with that, I'll yield to any other commissioner that wants to have something to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Ballas. Do I have any comments from any other commissioners at this time?
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Yep, Commissioner.
Thank you. I'm in complete support with my fellow commissioners. It makes absolutely no sense to do a search across the country to bring somebody in to do work in Atlantic City when you have people that are more than qualified, that grew up in the department, that know the city, that know the residents. To look for someone else is another silly attempt at government overreach when the answer is right in front of their eyes. So I look forward to supporting you guys on this. Without upward mobility in these police departments, why are these men serving? It's what you need. It creates the structure in the department that the citizens demand. And I think they'll do an excellent job. And I wholeheartedly support you guys on this resolution.
Thank you, Commissioner Bertino. Do I have any other comments from our commissioners?
Madam Chair, let me just add one more thing to this step. I am having actually a meeting with the governor on Friday, so I'm going to ask the clerk before Thursday I can get a certified copy. I will hand deliver it to the governor as part of my meeting on Friday, and certainly the sentiments of our colleagues here. Also tomorrow, since we talk about the police department in Atlantic City, Chief Sarkos has fought so hard to elevate 9 Class 2s to full-fledged officers tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. right outside the City Hall, in between the county and City Hall courtyard. So we're going to be elevating 9 Class 2s, and Chief Sarkos has fought so hard to get them. It's again, leadership heading in the right direction. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And so with that, Madam Clerk, if I can by Thursday get a certified copy, I'll be more than happy to give it to the governor myself.
Thank you, Commissioner. Great. Okay, do I have any other comments from the commissioners? Any comments from the public?
Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Oh, yes, Commissioner Ballas.
Yes, seeing that Chief Sarkos is on, if, you know, he would like to be elevated to a speaker, if we can make that happen, appreciate it.
He's part of the attendees. Can we raise him?
He's been raised,
Okay,
followed by Joyce Molyneux as a comment.
Okay.
Says it's, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just wanted to say, on behalf of the whole Atlantic City Police Department, thank you guys for supporting this measure, that the chief of police should come within the ranks of the Atlantic City Police Department. We greatly appreciate it. I think all the men and women greatly appreciate that.
And we appreciate you and all that you do.
And I also, I could just add too, that I feel the city of Atlantic City, and especially the police department, just has a really great working relationship with our county government, with the sheriff's department, you know, with everyone in every level of county government. And we greatly look forward to continuing that great relationship into the future.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'm a little confused because I was going to vote for this resolution, but that's the shortest I ever heard Chief Sarkos speak.
It must have been something you said.
Yes, ma'am.
It sounded
I'll
like you
take it.
guys were on a roll. I didn't want to stop the momentum.
I'm sure he'll take our meeting over city council meeting any other day of the week, but I said that.
Okay.
And in light of what Ernest Corsi had said about tomorrow, we are going to broadcast the swearing-in ceremony on the Atlantic City website. So if anyone wants to watch that on the website, I'd love to have everyone join us.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
And now we have Ms. Molyneux.
Yes. Ms. Molyneux, you can speak.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Commissioner Bales, I'm certainly glad to hear you state that as Atlantic City goes, so goes the county. So that's great to hear you say that. We've been saying that for years. I also welcome all remarks in support of Atlantic City at this time. As president of the Atlantic City Advisory Board, we would like to put this on record that we had already sent a letter to the Lieutenant Governor in regards of the vacancy position of the Chief of Police. We stated to her that, and requested to her rather, that the state abide by the rules created under Title 40A, 14-129. We do not want anyone else coming into Atlantic City when we have enough great policemen on this force that, according to the statute, the state could go by. So we did send her that letter, and we stated also that the city and the citizens recommended that they go by Title 40A. Deputy Chief is aware of that, and he's aware that we do support that Title 40. So I did want to put that on record, that the letter was sent to Madam Lieutenant Governor on March 12th. And again, I thank you all for supporting us at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Molyneux. We appreciate your support and everything you do throughout the community as well. Do we have anybody else from the public?
No one else from the public.
Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, that brings us to bond ordinance number 2 for the first reading.
Bond ordinance amending and supplementing bond ordinance number 3, 2020, providing for various pedestrian traffic signal improvements finally adopted by the Board of Chosen Freeholders, now Board of County Commissioners, on December 1, 2020, to increase the appropriation therein by $58,750 and to increase the authorization of bonds or notes therein by $553,096 to finance part of the additional cost thereof. First reading.
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, this is the first reading, so there's no public comment at this time, so we will take a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to ordinance number 2 for the final reading.
An ordinance amending County Code Chapter 97 entitled Parks concerning John F. Gaffney, Green Tree Golf Course, final reading.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, just a reminder, this is, I think we've talked about this at length in these meetings. This is the raising of a couple of fees that haven't been raised in the last several years, both the greens fees and fees for the ID cards. They're only going up by $1 to $2, I believe, in each case. And the Budget Committee was in support of the proposed changes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do I have any other comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. And I'll entertain a motion to table resolution number 5 for consideration at the next meeting because the author of this resolution cannot be here and he asked if we could do it at the next meeting.
Motion.
Table number 85, right?
Right.
Right, which is because we haven't received the guidelines yet on the federal funding. Correct?
Yes.
Yep, make a motion to table.
Second.
You're right. I had the wrong one there. Okay. Commissioner moves and motion back. Have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 177.
Amending Resolution Number 466, adopted August 27th, 2019, a grant agreement with the New Jersey Transit and the United States Department of Transportation for Section 5311 funding pursuant to the Federal Transit Act to extend term date only, no additional costs.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, resolution 178, please.
Grant acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the Low Income Heating and Energy Assistance Program, Communications Worker of America, amount not to exceed $15,624.
Move.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 179, please.
Grant acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the Universal Service Fund Communications Workers of America Administration Program, amount not to exceed $10,416.
Move.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Horsey,
Yes. Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 180, please.
Professional services agreement with various vendors for the provision of library goods and services and supplies, amount not to exceed $708,735.
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Horsey,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 181, please.
Professional services agreement with various providers for alcoholism treatment services, amount not to exceed $588,253.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Horsey,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 182, please.
Amending Resolution Number 584, adopted November 17, 2020, a bid contract with El Feriazzi Concrete Company for the signalization of several locations in Ventnor and Margate. Corrected amount, $9,726,019.25.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Horsey,
No.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 183, please.
Amending Resolution Number 78, adopted February 2nd, 2021, a bid contract with South State Incorporated for the replacement of the Nakote Creek Bridge, PR7, in Port Republic. Corrected amount, $11,862,427.10.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion made second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, if I may,
Commissioner Corsi?
directed to the county administrator. I missed the budget meeting yesterday. I probably would have raised this issue regarding the Port Bridge. Any idea, Jerry, how much longer this is going to be closed? And I know a year ago or so, we talked about a low bridge, a high bridge, et cetera, but I hadn't been out there in a couple of months and the roads were closed off. I'm assuming this will get a lot of work started on that bridge. I'm not putting the answer in your mouth. I'm just trying to get me some clarification.
Yes, just so you know, I mean, John is on and Mark are both on, but just for the resolution itself, this was explained to the budget subcommittee. There was incorrect transposition of numbers, so this is just to correct the transposition of numbers, you know, in the original resolution. But with respect to the bridge itself, the bridge is, you know, will be at grade just like the existing one is. And John and I think Mark are both on. They'll explain to you that, you know, this is going to be, I think 18 to 24 months, but let them go through some of the work. So John, you there?
But Jerry, let me, if I may.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think you answered my question. I don't want to hold up my colleagues because I didn't make the meeting yesterday. I mean, that explains the changing of the numbers. I
Yeah.
was just trying to get me some time frame, but I think you just answered anywhere between 18 to 24
Yeah.
months. So
Yeah.
I don't want to waste the commissioner's time going
Okay.
back over that. I can
Very
get that
good.
from John and them later. I appreciate that.
Okay, great. Okay,
Thank
you got it. Okay.
Do I have any other comments or questions from the commissioners? Public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 184, please.
Bid contract was all vinyl fencing for providing installation of fencing at Lake Lenape Park East and a 2-year miscellaneous fence maintenance and repair. Amount not to exceed $102,589.50.
Move.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 185, please.
Change order number 1, contract with Swerco Industries Limited Liability Corporation for thermoplastic material used for road line striping to extend the term date only, no additional amount.
We took a vote yesterday in the budget subcommittee meeting that Commissioner Corsi has to move both these change orders.
So noted. Motion.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
That's what happened when you miss a meeting. Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 186, please.
Change order number 2 and final contract with Arawak Paving Company Incorporated for the resurfacing of Delilah Road, Section 1B and part of 1C in the Township of Egg Harbor to extend term date. Net decrease $116,069.99.
Move.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any comments? from
It reflect that's a net decrease. Thanks, Amy.
No problem. Just fulfilling John Peterson's wish.
Okay.
Comments from any other commissioners? Any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 187, please.
Amending Resolution Number 441, adopted September 29, 2020, lease agreement with 5218 Property Limited Liability Corporation to lease space located at 5218 Atlantic Avenue, Mays Landing, for the special needs of the Atlantic County Board of Elections related to the November 3rd, 2020 general election to extend the term date. Net increase $100,302.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Just a
Okay.
comment, Madam Chair, so it makes a little more sense, even though it's referencing the November 3rd, 2020 general, as they are still kind of doing some finalization work there. But as was explained to us, there's still the additional need for the space that they have, because we're anticipating that the April special election and potentially the June primary election, even though in-person voting will be allowed this time, that we do still anticipate a high number of mail-in ballots, and wanted to accommodate the staff in being able to process those ballots.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do I have any other commissioner comments?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Ballas?
Yeah, I guess to Jerry, do we anticipate this being until November and then pass that for this upcoming election? Or just the
The
special-
expectation is to see what happens in the primary, and if we have to move this forward to until the end of the year, until after the general, we're going to do that. But I can only say that Commissioner Gatto had asked that question yesterday, and what happens is that the owner of the building would only extend the lease until this time period. So I am assuming, they're waiting to see what happens with the pandemic or whatever. But for the time being, they would only lease until this, after the primary.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other commissioner comments or questions? Anything from the public?
No comments from the public.
A roll call?
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
Risley, Kern,
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 188, please.
amending resolution number 329 adopted June 4, 2019, a contract with Atlantic Care Hospice and Palliative Services has been acquired by LHCG CXLIV Limited Liability Corporation doing business as Atlantic Care Hospice to provide hospice services at Meadowview, no cost.
Motion.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any commissioner comments?
Chairperson, just for the budget subcommittee, they asked yesterday whether or not, and Commissioner Gatto just had asked the question, is this Atlantic Care trading under another name or whatever? No, it is not. This company actually bought Atlantic Care's hospice program, and that is their name. They were called, and this is how they trade. So, and they do have two clients at Meadowview.
Thank you, Jerry. Do I have any other comments or questions from the commissioners? Okay, seeing none. Anything from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 189.
License agreement with the City of Margate concerning installation and maintenance of traffic calming improvements within the right-of-way of Ventnor Avenue, County Route 629 at Washington Avenue. No cost.
Move.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, do we have any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, resolution 190.
Shared services agreement with the Atlantic County Improvement Authority for the purchase of an aerator for use at the John F. Gaffney Green Tree Golf Course, amount not to exceed $45,000.
Motion.
Give a second.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments from the commissioners?
No, Madam Chair, one don't have to do with the other, but I can't miss this opportunity. The shared service agreement with the County Improvement Authority, and also I saw today that the Atlantic County has hired a new shared service coordinator, Tim Kershaw, I believe it is, from former Mayor Ventnor. Hope he gets brought up to speed real quick. I do not expect that will be a vote by the Board of Commissioners, but I hope they get him up on board and get him out there to these other communities when we talk about shared services, even though it didn't have to do with this particular resolution.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do we have any other comments or questions for the commissioners? Okay. Anybody from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 191.
National Cooperative Agreement with Enterprise Fleet Management for the lease and maintenance of various county vehicles, amount not to exceed $1,700,000.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Thank you.
Yes. Just for the record, none of these vehicles are electric or hybrid. They're all gas-powered vehicles.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do we have any other comments or questions in regards to this resolution? Seeing none, anything from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Abstain.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 192.
Resolution to support Cumberland County's application to the State Department of Community Affairs for shared services funding through the Local Efficiency Achievement Program Implementation Grant.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Corsi.
through you to Jerry, is this normal that we would support different county for an application? I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with them. This is probably the first time I've seen this. Like I said, I had a budget committee meeting yesterday, so I probably could have got that answer yesterday.
Yeah, if I could, Commissioner and Madam Chair, just to explain, this has to do with the shared service agreement that we are in with Cumberland County with to take in a certain population of their inmates. And to do that, we had to do some work at the jail to make way for that. They are applying for some of those costs to be covered by that shared services grant that have to do with the work that we have to do at the jail. So it's all kind of involved with that whole shared service agreement with Cumberland County.
Thank you, Commissioner. Jerry, I'm assuming, and I'll do it now, at some point, we need to have a jail committee meeting, because if there's some stuff going on over there that needs to be repaired, I'd like to know about it as well.
Okay, very good. Okay. I'll speak with the Madam Clerk.
Okay.
Okay, do we have any other comments? Okay, any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 193, please.
Resolution in support of Estelle Manor's application to the State Department of Community Affairs for shared services funding through the LEAP implementation grant.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, if I can just explain this one too. Similar thing, we are looking to enter into a shared service agreement with Estelle Manor for snow plowing services on county roadways out in their community. So the application for the shared service grant funding availability is for equipment that would be required to execute that shared service agreement.
Thank you, Commissioner Gatto. Do I have any other comments from the commissioners? Do we have any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. And I will entertain a motion to combine and adopt resolution 195 and 196.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 199, please.
Resolution imploring Governor Murphy to require funding and advance payment by the state of New Jersey to Atlantic County for any and all costs of early voting requirements imposed upon Atlantic County by the state of New Jersey. Sponsors, Commissioner Frank X. Ballas and Commissioner Chairwoman Maureen Kern.
Motion.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any comments? Commissioner Ballas?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, the reason we brought this forward is there is going to be exorbitant cost with this bill that just got signed by the governor. And we were just asking that the money is paid upfront to state mandate, should be state pay. And that's the reason why we're moving this forward. This is something that there hasn't been a trial period on, and it'd be nice if there was a trial period in maybe a couple counties to see if this actually does work. But gaining new equipment, a new procedure, and everything, and it's great that, you know, hopefully more people will have the availability to vote, and, you know, hopefully someday we can get 100% turnout for elections. But the cost is going to be exorbitant to the county, and I do not believe that we budgeted for that. And if we're mandated to buy that equipment for this year's election in November, we need to make sure that we're either reimbursed right away from the state or the money is forwarded to the county prior to it being purchased.
Thank you, Commissioner Ballas. And Jerry, I believe he's correct. We have not budgeted for any of this. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's right.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, if I may, to Commissioner Ballas or to the county administrator, what dollar amount we're talking about, and is it premature to talk about sending us the money if we don't know exactly? I'm asking. I don't know. Y'all might. I know there's always some esoteric meetings going on, so y'all may have numbers that I'm not aware of. But you know, how we know what the numbers are? Do you by chance know by? Because you're asking them to give us the money in advance. Do we know how much exactly it is?
Jerry, do we have an estimate of what that's going to cost?
Well, the only numbers we've received so far, the new voting machines are roughly $9,000. And then there's an e-poll books, they're $2,500. And then there's some other accessory equipment, printers, things like that, you know, they're anywhere between $4,000 and $6,000 each. So we're not sure how many we need. And then the big issue is right now, we're not sure exactly how many locations or how many machines we will need. And that's one reason why we haven't budgeted anything, because we're not sure which machines are going to be selected, whether or not the state is actually going to mandate that a certain machine be used. So as of right now, those are the numbers. But as a comparable, just to give you an example, I think we roughly have, you know, 360 voting machines. So if you had to replace all of them at $9,000, you know, you're looking into, you know, roughly what? Not this to make it 400 machines at $9,000. You're looking at $3.6 million. So you're looking in that area, plus these $2,500 e-poll books. We're not sure how many are going to be required, but they're $2,500 each. So it's pretty expensive.
So I would and I would incline to agree with you to some extent, but I think we put in the cart before the horse, because we really don't have. I could see if the resolution gave us a dollar amount per se. Like you said, you don't know how many machines are going to be required, how many books are going to be required. Yes, we're going to need them. State mandate, states should pay. We agree. We've been down this road a whole lot of times, and it has never come to fruition, because the state has given us a whole lot of mandates. We had to pay it and never got reimbursed for most of it. We knew, all of us knew that some type of new voting machines were going to be coming down the line at some point in time, and they probably need to be replaced, no question about it. I just think that maybe if we could pull this resolution and come back with probably a more definitive number around about, you're just asking to be reimbursed or give you the money in the beginning. I don't think that's going to fly. But I think if we can come up with a more tangible resolution to talk about dollar wise, because you talk about $9,000 machine, $2,500 books, et cetera, that's more realistic. Just to set a resolution, if we really want to get their attention. I'm just suggesting maybe we pull it, come back at the next meeting. If we can come up with some numbers to talk about it, I'm willing to do that. But I think this is kind of like broad out there. And there probably need to be some conversation regarding this. Just to pass a resolution to say we passed it and still get nothing in return. Maybe we can give them some concrete numbers. Just my suggestion and recommendation.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner Ballas.
Yes, to Commissioner Corsi. The way I'm looking at it is this would probably just like it was with the Aquatest machine, breathalyzer, where the state dictates that this is the type that each county has to buy, and this is the cost, and the state would work out what the expense is for each one, and then of course you would decide with your polling precincts how many you need. So what we're asking for is once they decide how many you need and what equipment they're mandating you to purchase, that we then, I'm sure we'll get it off state contract, that we're reimbursed for whatever that number is on that purchase order at that point. To come up with a number right now, like you said, is just, reaching for the stars.
So I guess my question to you, Commissioner, would be, I am sure that this is something that probably will come through the Department of Secretary of State, who oversees elections or something. I just think we come out better with a conversation or more meaningful letter to them, ask them first, and if we get nowhere, we come back with a resolution. But sometimes if you ask not, you receive not, and again, you make good, valid points, and I'm always believe that why don't we try that approach first? Of course, they are demanding it, mandating it, so they know they got to pay it. But I'm not sure if this resolution really speaks to what you want to do. I hear what you're saying. I just thought a different approach, or at least a conversation. I mean, I'm sure we can get on the phone with the Commissioner of Secretary of State and have this conversation with her or somebody in her department, and we'll hook up a conference call. And I would ask you to do that first. If we get nowhere, we come back with the resolution. I just don't want it to be here and they laugh at us. At least have a conversation and see what they're talking about.
Madam Chair. Sorry, Commissioner. Just a quick point. I hear what you're saying, Commissioner Corsi. I do agree with my colleague, Commissioner Ballas's comments. And I don't think we should relent on the point of, if it's a state mandate that they should pay. Just because they haven't doesn't mean that I think we should give up on that. And I think we have to make that point over and over again. But I think the other point that's in this resolution, which I'm open if you're saying you want to have a conversation, but it shouldn't be lost on the idea of doing a pilot for this early voting, which is also in this resolution. I think we saw that trying to rush and implement something totally across the state in the middle of a pandemic was extremely taxing on our election staff, trying to figure it all out at once and work out the kinks as they go. I think a pilot program on something as new as this is a really fantastic idea, and I don't want to lose sight of that. So if you're going to have a conversation, I hope that that's part of that conversation as well as the pay element. And I'm still in favor of supporting a resolution to make the point, whether it's this meeting or the next. I'm in favor of the resolution.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Fitzpatrick?
Yeah, I just have a couple questions. I attended a Southern New Jersey Commissioners Association meeting a couple of weeks ago, and this was a hot topic, of course. And it seemed that Camden County had hosted some folks to take a look at the machines that they had or something like that. It seemed like there were some I don't want to say samples, but examples to look at. And I know that also that Salem County, before last year's elections, had purchased machines that give receipts for a paper receipt for each vote. And I was wondering if we had been, our administration had been involved in conversations with representatives from other counties about these things. Did we go and look at machines? Have we spoken to anybody about what they're doing?
Yes, or, the superintendent of elections has held, as a matter of fact, she's the president of the Election Officials Association. They held, I think it was 2 days of being able to look at the machines. Our deputy county administrator actually attended a session, and Diana is on if she'd like to tell and tell us what she viewed. I mean, obviously I've heard that, and she's here, and I believe that our superintendent was going to try to do something locally again. She did it for the statewide elected officials and whomever they wanted to invite, and then she's going to do something locally. So, I mean, Diana, you on? You want to just maybe give a brief overview of what you were able to look at?
Sure. The day I went, it was the ES&S, and it was the e-poll book. Unfortunately, though, the state has not identified any certified e-poll books, and until the state certifies, we don't know which ones would really be available for purchase. But the reason Maureen was really interested in it was because it was a seamless tie-in to the new voting machine. The e-poll book would print a ticket so that the ticket gets fed into the voting machine. The person votes. There's a printed trail of the vote that shoots down a little plastic covered area so the voter can see what they voted on and press a button, and then the paper trail is put into a bag. It was a nice system. I don't have pricing on that, but it was within the dollars that Jerry was talking about earlier. I know she's looked at some other ones because there is a list, and I have it somewhere, of the voting machines that the state has certified. So the discussion right now is if we have to move, we would use the state certification list. And because these are election expenses that don't have to be bid, we would solicit at least 3 quotes from vendors based on the parameters that the voting units want to try, and then from those quotes move forward. So they've been looking at many different types. The state has also offered some demonstrations of equipment. They offered it about 3 years ago too. We were involved in that as well. So we keep looking at it.
And Madam Chair, if I can as well, Commissioner Fitzpatrick, I think I was the chairwoman at the time that Superintendent Bogdan hosted that state conference and had the demonstrations, and I took a look at it, and I think it's a whole nother conversation that's a little separate from this resolution, because there's so many different ways that these machines can go. With the paper trail or not paper trail, what you see, what you don't see, and I think it's going to be a heavy conversation if we have any kind of say in what we use. So I definitely think a demonstration for all of us would be important when we get to that point. But I think it's a little bit tangential to the resolution, so I don't want to get too far sidetracked. But there is a lot to consider.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Madam Chair.
Sorry.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Commissioner Bertino. Just a quick question, Jerry. With the new discussions on all this type of equipment, have we done an assessment on personnel? Are we going to need additional staffing? I know they're talking about it. There was a discussion about extended voting for 10 days and all that. Are we looking also at the cost that we may have incurred with new additional personnel with training, or are we using less people with this system? Or what do we have on that at the moment?
Well, it's not in this particular case, it's not this, for example, early voting. It's not the system that we use. It's going to be the fact that you're there 10 days prior to the election, which you need staff on site. There are regulated hours, and you have to have the sites open. I think in Atlantic County, we're supposed to have between 5 and 7 sites. And then the issue, which has not been resolved yet, was originally we were supposed to have a minimum of 5 to 7 machines per site. The most recent issue is that we're supposed to have between 10 and 20 per site. So they're going high. So as of right now, they're looking at 5 sites, 20 machines per site. That's 20 voting machines, and then 1 poll book, e-poll book for each machine. So there would be 100 machines. And then I believe the centers are supposed to have 2 special printers, or at least 1 special printer, so that if you come in and you want a provisional ballot, you can actually get a provisional ballot printed out for you. So as of right now, yes, you'll have all those additional costs for the early voting. Plus, there will be some purchase of machines up front. And that's part of the reason for having, as Commissioner Fitzpatrick was talking about, at a minimum, you're going to have at least the reputed number for us is 100 new machines with 100 e-poll books and at least a printer per site.
Do I have any other commissioner comments? Okay. Do you have any comments from the public? No. You're muted.
No comments from the public.
Yeah. Okay. I have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Horsey?
No.
Fitzpatrick?
No.
Gatto?
Yes.
And Kern?
Yes. Motion carries.
Madam Chair, if I
No.
may, back to my colleagues. So I still want to try to arrange a Zoom or a meeting with someone from the Secretary of State's office. So I would assume that the junior commissioner would be interested in participating. But again, even though you all raised some very good, valid points, we still need to get a better understanding dollar-wise, et cetera. And as you indicated,
Yeah.
State, Tanya, I could hear, okay. So I think what happens is going forward in the next couple of weeks or so, Frank, maybe we can try to have the Madam Clerk get in touch with the Secretary of State's office, and we can set up some type of Zoom meeting to get some of these questions answered anyway. Whether, today, tomorrow, next week, as you said, something's going to happen and it's mandated. We need to be right there at the table trying to make sure that we get our money back, because we're going to have to put it out. And if we don't get 100% of it, at least to give us something towards what we have to put out. They're good at telling us what we need to do, but sometimes don't come up with funding to carry it out. So if you're amenable to that, we'll try to make that happen in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you, Commissioner. I think that's a great idea, but I think the motion did not carry. I
That's
think
correct.
we didn't have enough votes. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's
Well,
correct.
Madam Chair, I'll do for reconsideration if in fact my colleague would agree that he's open and amenable to a meeting. I'm not objecting to the resolution just to be objecting. I'm just thinking that we get more bang for the buck if we can sit down and have a conversation in terms of dollar wise where we're going forward, moving forward, because the taxpayers' money in Atlantic County, we're asking that the state turns around and pay it back. I mean, if we got to put it up, we're just asking fairness that we get it back. I mean, I think that's a fair conversation. I will reconsider my vote. I have no objection to that. I just thought going forward, we could have that conversation prior to the vote, but it is what it is.
No, I agree with 100%, Commissioner. I mean, I can get on that conference call or Zoom meeting, whatever we need to set up with you and whoever else is available to get that done. Just because it's an unknown cost. And as you see, in the earlier resolution that we passed, another $100,000 for the rental of a building. We don't have an open-ended checkbook. So whatever conversations we can get done, if the state is mandating it, hopefully they'll be able to reimburse us. If not, once the purchase order is made, but relatively a commitment to reimburse us right away once it's paid by the county.
Again, I would agree, but let me just say this, and I have to throw this plug in there. If I was a rotten scoundrel, I wouldn't consider. But when you talk about bipartisan and what's right for the residents of Atlantic County, it's easy to do the right thing. And so again, I'm not objecting to the resolution. I go back and I could change my vote to a yes vote, but as long as we're open to this conversation with the Secretary of State and their designees, we need to know going forward as a county, are we going to be reimbursed for our monies that we've got to put out? And if it's not 100%, what percentage of it is they're going to be giving back to the county? I can't fight for any other county, but we need to fight for our own county.
I agree with you. I think we're all speaking on the same exact note, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's a fabulous idea to get the conversation going.
So,
now,
Madam Chair, with that, if the record would reflect, I will change my no vote to a yes vote.
do we need to do the call, the roll call over, or do we just, is that enough? Okay.
So noted.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I could just say something. I agree with everything that you're talking about the money, but it's the part about the pilot that I am concerned about. I think that given all the negative circumstances we had last year, everything went pretty well. We had a secure, countable election. Some things are still being worked out, but that's a whole other story. But I can't support kicking something down the road anymore. We have a chance now to take a breath and make change, and I think we should do it. But I do agree that we should be fighting for everything that the county is owed, and it should be paid to us in a timely manner. And if that weren't in there, I would support it.
Thank you, Commissioner. So the motion carries. Thank everybody for their comments. Okay, so that brings us to Resolution 201.
Resolution in support of the Asian American Pacific Islander community, sponsor Commissioner Ernest D. Coursey.
Move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Commissioner Coursey, the floor is yours.
Madam Chair, I will not waste my colleagues' time on this. We all know exactly what's happening across this country. Different ethnic are being targeted, and we will not stand for it, no matter Asian American, African American, white American, whatever you want to be called. We cannot allow racism run rampant. We need to, as a community, as a governing body, stand up and be counted and make it very clear we do not tolerate it, we do not accept it, and that it is wrong on all angles, every aspect of it. It is unfortunately, you can see on the news across the country, Asian Americans are walking down the street, older 65, 70, get kicked and punched and beat up for absolutely no reason at all. And I will say this, and I know some of my colleagues will not agree with me and probably be a little tight in the behind, but that's okay. A lot of this stems out of this foolishness that happened down in DC in January. And folks just think they can do any and every damn thing they want now, because you have some radicals who went to Washington to try to overturn the government. And so they're going around this country and they're picking different religious groups, ethnic groups, etc. And we should stand up and say no. Matter of fact, we should say hell no, because it's not right. I don't care what walks of life you come from. Everybody has the right to the American dream, and to begin to target groups is unacceptable. So that was the reason wanted to bring this resolution before the board. As you know, other municipalities and communities are passing similar resolutions, and why should we be any different? And I'll stop there. And if any of my colleagues want to add on or be a co-sponsor or whatever, that's all up and dandy.
Do I have any other, thank you very much, Commissioner Corsi. Do I have any other comments from the commissioners?
Yes,
Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
thank you. I just want to say fully support this resolution. It's a shameful that especially when someone is attacked on the street in broad daylight and people stand by and watch. And it's upon us, the rest of us, to stand up for our community, stand up for our friends and neighbors, and that those are people we don't even know as well. Stand up for strangers who are being accosted in the street. And Commissioner Ballas, I know if it's safe to do so, and wait for the police to come and help us. But you can't stand by and do nothing. We all have to join together and stick up for each other. That's what a community is.
Thank you, Commissioner Fitzpatrick. Commissioner Bertino, did you?
That was Madam Chair.
Yes. Justin, I'll be brief. I think we've spoken on these issues in the past, and nothing has changed. No one has the right to treat someone because of who they are differently. They're all protected by the law. And I have no problem, obviously, supporting this resolution. It's the right thing to do, as anytime there's violence or anything that happens to anyone. No one's going out looking for violence. It happens to a lot of innocent people, and they should be protected as such. And I have no problem supporting the resolution as is.
Thank you, Commissioner Bertino. Do I have any other commissioners' comments?
Madam Chair.
Yeah. Commissioner Ballas.
Yes, I endorse this 110%. You know, this state, we have enhanced penalties for bias crimes, and you know, every state should, and they should be enforced. And as Commissioner Fitzpatrick stated, you know, there's times when people have to step up and take matters into their own hands when they're on the street seeing, you know, an incident like this happening, and you know, making sure that they are calling 911 and getting law enforcement involved. But nobody can stand by and watch some of these heinous crimes happening. You know, we're having this happen to the Asian community because of this virus. You know, there is elected officials that are being threatened. We need just to unify this country, and you know, we all need to, you know, go along to get along, and hopefully, you know, I mean, we're just our little part of the world here in Atlantic County, but whatever we can do to protect each and every human is what we need to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Ballas. Do I have any other comments from the commissioners?
Madam Chair, if I can, in conclusion on this resolution, we talk about the Asian community, as Commissioner Ballas has indicated, even the Packington community. I talked about it earlier, is what happened on the boardwalk in Atlantic City the other day. Unacceptable. 12 and 14-year-old kids going ransacking. The gentleman in the store gets in an altercation with these kids. He winds up having a massive heart attack and passes away. Unacceptable. Parents have to be accountable for the kids, and that we as adults, we know better, but apparently we just turn our heads when we see stuff. And yeah, like I said, whether it's the Asian community, the Pakistani community, African American community, white community, it doesn't matter. Wrong is wrong, and this is the right thing to do to support this resolution and send that message loud and clear.
Thank you, Commissioner Corsi. Do I have any other comments from the commissioners? Any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes,
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 202, please.
Resolution supported the development of offshore wind farms in federal waters off the coast of Atlantic County, New Jersey. Sponsor, Commissioner Karen L. Fitzpatrick.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made in second, Commissioner Fitzpatrick.
Thank you very much, Chairwoman. This is an issue that is very important to me, and I hope that I can give you some information that will help you to support it. The Southern New Jersey Development Council calls offshore wind the biggest job creator since the casinos. Not only are there going to be people constructing and installing the turbines, but we're going to have maintenance jobs, architects, engineers, surveyors, computer and telecommunications, transportation and maintenance jobs, painting and skilled metal manufacturing, legal and accounting, and all financial services as well. The first wind farm, which is due to be completed in 2024, would generate 1,100 megawatts of power, which is enough to annually power 500,000 homes. There will be many more turbines required to achieve the goal of 7,500 megawatts through 2035, which it will be enough to power 3.2 million homes in New Jersey. The goal here is to become a wind manufacturing epicenter. There are going to be locations of specialities within New Jersey, and Atlantic City is going to be the operations and maintenance center. And also, there's going to be a wind institute that's going to be founded and developed by possibly Rowan, Rutgers, and Stockton. Stockton University is also having something funded by Ørsted, a development of programs to observe protected species. You know, Stockton has a lot of marine science programs, and this just plays right along with that. Additionally, Atlantic Offshores, which is another vendor that is in play to make a bid for a wind farm, has funded, along with Ørsted, a program to train students in hydrography, a science that includes mapping the seafloor and measuring depth and shape of the coastline. You know, we are uniquely qualified and uniquely positioned to take full advantage of this emerging industry. This is like the casino gaming industry that happened in 1978, but unlike gaming, not every state in the union can do this. We have the best position on the Northeast coast to excel, diversify our income, bring highly skilled labor, training students. There are also technical jobs that don't require college degrees that are very well paying, and this will be a boom for Atlantic County, and I hope that you'll support it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Do I have any other comments from our commissioners?
Madam Chair.
Yep, Commissioner Bertino.
Thank you. I just got a couple of quick questions. I noticed that the wind farm itself is going to be out in federal waters. So I'm assuming it's out at least 14, 16 miles in the ocean.
16, I believe.
16. Does the state of New Jersey have anything to do with the permitting process? Because you're out in federal waters, I was just curious if this resolution really sticks to, I mean, I'm in support of it, but if it has anything to do with the jurisdiction area that it's out in federal waters, is it more of just putting support to it locally, you know, so we have
Yes,
some say, or what?
Supporting it locally, you know, as the county government, as the elected officials in our county government, if we can come out and support this, I think it'll go a long way to helping educate the public, our residents, and gain their support. You know, they trust us to use good judgment. This is a good thing for us, and that's the purpose of it.
I got the context of the project, and you know, I have talking to representatives from Ørsted as well, just to familiarize myself with what it is they're planning on doing. I think we just want to be upfront and let everybody know the wind farm itself is probably talking about up to 90 windmills. It'll probably run the length of, you know, from Atlantic City down to Cape May. And I want everybody to understand this is a major project. It's a major undertaking to do that type of, to get that type of electricity coming inland. There'll be some impact, I believe, in a few shore communities, especially where the landlines are coming in. There's only particular areas where they're allowed to come in at that the grid would support. I'm going to support it because conceptually it's there. I know the state is moving in that direction, but I want everybody to be aware. Hopefully, as with many state mandates and projects that come out, especially when it comes to utilities, they won't do the charge the ratepayers a percentage for the construction costs. That usually happens at the end of the project, not in the beginning when we're talking about all the good things that it's going to bring to us. And I'm agreeing with you. I know the college is on board, and Atlantic City is going to be on board, Ocean City and all. But I just want to make sure the residents do hear all sides of it. So later on, when they ask each of us, why did we support it? Didn't we know this was going to happen? I don't want any of us to be sitting here naive and say, I didn't think that was going to go that way. So it's an expensive project. It is the future. We got to look at alternative methods. My district, of course, is inland. I'm not going to see windmills. There'll be some down there that have concerns about site. I believe it's far enough out that that's not the issue. I believe the fishing industry's got some concerns. I'll allow that to go through the process as they air out the permits and decide all that. But I wanted to make sure that's on the record for all you guys as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have any other commissioner comments?
Madam Chair, just want to say, I do believe that the offshore wind economy is part of our kind of diversification plan in the county, and something that we've certainly been working. So, and to Commissioner Bertino's point, there are some things that still need to be worked out and discussed and kind of figured out. But I do believe and agree it is the future, and it really should be hopefully a windfall, pun intended, for our area. So I will be supporting the resolution.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commissioner comments?
Madam Chair, I wasn't going to say this, but hell, Bertina's going to support this resolution. We need to call a vote.
Hello.
I couldn't let that go, Jim. I had to try it.
Any other commissioner comments? Any
Keep you
comments
on
from the
your toes,
public?
Commissioner, keep you on your toes.
Yes, Chairwoman. Doug O'Malley would like to speak,
Okay.
and he may speak now. Mr. O'Malley?
Thank you. Thank you so much, commissioners, and thank you for those comments from Commissioner Patrick and Commissioner Gatto, as well as Commissioner Bertino. I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Doug O'Malley. I serve as the Director of Environment New Jersey. We're a statewide environmental advocacy group representing 80,000 citizen members and activists. And we've been working on offshore wind for more than 15 years, from the original Blue Ribbon panel that then acting Governor Dick Cody formed in 2005. And I guess I wanted, to reference just some of the issues that the commissioners have raised here. I also wanted to reference that Atlantic County has been the leadership on wind power in the state, and the leadership specifically of the county commissioner, Danny Levinson, on this issue. He's been there every step of the way, and the leadership of ACUA and their longtime director, Rick Dovey. In many ways, those wind turbines in Atlantic City have pointed the way to the future for building offshore wind off the shore and off Atlantic County. I also wanted to reference that there's a long legacy of wind in the state. Governor Christie signed into law, working with Senate President Sweeney, the Offshore Wind Economic Development Act in August 2010. Obviously, wind has taken a long time to get started, but we are still poised to be able to have New Jersey have a true leadership position on wind. And I also want to say here that this is not just something that's good for clean energy. It's not just something that's good for South Jersey. It really is critical when we're talking about the threat of coastal sea level rise. And I don't want to go on and on here, but I think it's really important to reference that the DP is through Rutgers University and their research is predicting a sea level rise of up to a foot over the course of this decade, 2 feet by 2050, and 6 feet by 2100. That's if we don't change anything. And really, offshore wind will be the solution on how we are going to change how we're powering our economy, not just in South Jersey and not just in the state, but in the entire region. And New Jersey has a potential to lead here. We are kind of getting out in front. And when we talk about the impact, the cost of the project, the Ocean Wind Project, which is the Ørsted project, is estimated to be less than $1.50 a month. Now, the cost of coastal sea level rise is going to be a lot more than that, especially if we don't act. I also wanted to reference there is a process of the notice of intent the Ocean Wind Project is going through. So to reference the specific comments from Commissioner Bertino, there's actually a scoping process that is being kicked off next week on April 13th at 1 o'clock virtually. That basically the public is invited to attend, and obviously for the commissioners, if you're able to attend, that would actually be incredibly helpful, because our DEP, this is in federal waters, but our DEP will have a very active hand in the environmental permitting over the course of the next 2 years. So to be clear, this isn't kind of happening willy-nilly. This has been in the works for years, and it will have huge environmental benefits. Obviously, as we've heard from some of the commissioners, there have been viewshed issues that have been raised. And I don't want to minimize them, but to be clear, we're talking 14, 15 miles off the shore. You're not going to be able to see these turbines, at the level that I think people are fearing that they will. And if anything is blight at the shore, it's the prop plane selling auto insurance on a hot summer day. We need offshore wind. We are incredibly supportive of this proposal, and obviously incredibly thankful for the leadership that the county has provided through the years, and specifically the leadership of all the commissioners, including Commissioner Fitzpatrick. So thank you very much, and appreciate your leadership on this issue.
Thank you very much, Mr. O'Malley. We appreciate your comments. Do we have any other comments from the public?
No further comments from the public.
Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
And Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 203, please.
Resolution declaring April 2021 National County Government Month. Sponsor Commissioner Karen L. Fitzpatrick.
Motion.
Motion made and second. Any comments, Commissioner Fitzpatrick?
Thank you again. This is an easy one. This came from NJAC. It's National County Government Week, and you even heard in this meeting from Pat Diamond how important the county health department, part of county government, is to our residents in making sure that we are safe and healthy. And from Dr. Gaba talking about our community/county college and how important that is to our residents. I myself am a graduate of Atlantic Cape, I'm proud to say. And county government provides services that we are the liaison between municipalities, local municipalities, and the state. We are the boots on the ground that hear what people need, and we can take that further on. So I think it would just be nice to recognize that we are one of 3,069 counties in the nation, and it's National County Government Week.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Do I have any other comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, any comments from the public?
No comment from the public.
Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Gatto?
Yes.
And Kern?
Yes, motion carries. Resolution 205.
Resolution in support of Senate Bill 3522 to create a local board of trustees to manage the local part of the public employment retirement system. Sponsor Commissioner Chairwoman Maureen Kern.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Jerry, can you give us an update on this and, some details?
if you remember, NJAC has done or has recommending an actuarial on the pension system that governs public employees' retirement. That's PERS. If you all know that the PFRS, Police and Fire, went off and splintered from PERS or from the pension system and set up their own board, and they govern all of the pension payments made by police and fire. During the review of this year, the amount of the unfunded liability to counties was excessive, and so NJAC is recommended to the counties that we support S3522, which, as you know, is a bill sponsored by Senator Sweeney. What it does is it replicates what happened in PFRS. PERS would have it, the public employees set up their own board, and they would govern their own use of the pension funds, and they would make their own investments. So that's in essence what this is going to do.
Do we have any other commissioner comments, questions? Okay, do we have any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Okay, well,
Madam Chair, before we call the vote, I'm a little slow on this one. So I heard Jerry's comment, but I'm not sure if I can't speak for nobody but me. I'm not sure if I get it. So maybe, Jerry, can you just do that a little slower in layman's terms for a guy like me, maybe be able to understand a little bit better, because I'm a little confused on this one.
Okay. So as you know, county public employees retirement system are non-police, non-fire employees of municipalities and counties that pay pension. And, I'm not an expert in pension, but, you pay based on your age, and everybody gets thrown into a pool into the state. So depending on your salary and your age, and depending on what's happening throughout the state, you pay a pension payment every single pay. The state is supposed to be matching those funds for state employees. State has not been funding their portion, which then generates what they call an unfunded liability, which means you continually have this large amount of money that's not being funded by the state. Counties and municipalities are required and mandated to make their payments. They've all been making their payments. So the unfunded liability, in order not to fall too far behind, then gets programmed into the local municipalities and counties increases. So instead of having maybe a normal increase of 2 or 3%, these increases have been much larger, 8 to 11%. So the recommendation, which obviously, police and fire did, was to set up a separate board that would manage those funds and make those investments on behalf of counties and municipality employees who are paying their pensions and are mandated to make their payments every pay.
and this has been successful for them so far, right?
It just happened last year, and they seem to be happy again.
Okay, thank you for your note there. I am not going to support this resolution. I'd like to see the Senate bill a little bit more in depth in what it's referring to. It probably could be a good thing. That short synopsis of it doesn't give me enough confidence that I'm going to support this resolution today. So I will take a look at resolution, strike that Senate Bill 3522 at my leisure, but I'm not going to stop the other freeholders from their comments. I just wanted to know for myself.
Do I have any other freeholder comments? Seeing none, do I have any comments from the public?
No comments from the public.
Do I have a roll call?
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
No.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, that concludes the written portion of our agenda. And any reports of special committees of the board?
Madam Chair, I apologize. My connection might have gotten cut off, but did the board intend to table resolution 204 due to the commissioner's absence
Yes,
at this meeting?
yes.
Okay, so you might just want to entertain a motion to have that resolution tabled until the commissioner can be present to discuss whatever wants to talk about.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to table resolution 204.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any comments? Okay, we'll have a roll call.
Ballas,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Gatto,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, so let's see, we didn't have any special committees of the board.
Madam Chair, I do just have a quick dam committee update if I could.
Okay.
Lake Lenape Dam, to be clear. I think at the next commissioner meeting, the commissioners can expect to see a resolution asking us to support a grant application, a federal grant application. I'm not sure if everybody saw, but Congressman Van Drew toured the dam recently and is putting forth the dam forward for some federal funding. And there's a whole application process for that. Our county staff members who are part of the Lake Lenape Dam Committee are working on that in conjunction with Hamilton Township. It would be an effort to try to, cut down some of the costs that we are already scheduled and anticipating to have to pay. So the resolution that will be coming our way will be one that says we support the federal grant application, number one, and number two, that we would agree to match any funds required by the grant, which again, I don't foresee being an issue since we were planning to pay for everything. So I know that the team is working on that. It should be on the next agenda, but wanted to just kind of give a heads up on that. Otherwise, everything is moving very smoothly along with that process at the dam. So good work by the team members.
Thank you, Commissioner Gatto. So do we have any other reports of special committees of the board besides the dam committee?
Madam Clerk.
The dam committee. Damn.
Yes, Commissioner Ballas.
So, Madam Clerk, in reference to the Veterans Advisory Board, the Veteran Service Officer for the Disabled American Vets who they meet on Dolphin Avenue, which is adjacent to our county complex. They were having some issues as far as internet connectability. I spoke with Jerry and Jerry spoke with IT, and for the last 2 weeks, they've been able to connect off the county's Wi-Fi. And I know last Tuesday and the Tuesday before, they were able to register for veterans benefits. 8 people one day, 9 people another day. So just want to say thank you to our IT department and to our administrator, Jerry Del Rosso, for making that happen on behalf of the board.
Thank you, Commissioner Ballas. Do I have any other reports from any other commissioners? Okay, seeing none. Any unfinished business? Okay, seeing none. Any new business? Okay, seeing none. We've received copies of written communication petitions. Any commissioners have anything that they want to report on that?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Bertino.
Thank you. Just briefly, I just wanted to make note. I received a letter from Town of Hamilton, and I want to note the passing of former Mayor Ralph Morano, former councilman. He served many years here in this community. He knew many of you at the commissioners level and county government. And his passing, of course, is he'll be sorely missed. He cared and loved this community, as many of us that serve in any kind of government level. You learn to respect and love the people you represent. And Ralph Morano here in Hamilton was known for that. I served many years under him, and he didn't teach me anything. I just want you to know that. But he's a great guy, and he's going to be sorely missed. I just wanted to put that on the record for the family as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bertino. Do I have any other reports from any other commissioners? Okay, we'll now open to the public comment portion. Anyone that would like to speak, please type yes and the resolution number, or any, in the question and answer box.
Madam Chair, we're going to give it a moment. No one has typed anything in.
Okay.
So let's just give a few seconds. And seeing none.
Okay.
No public comments.
Okay. Any comments for the good of the order? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.